Well, first of all, you can exclude Akhi Thurman. That is not going to happen.
So Terence Bud Crawford gave his reaction to the news that surfaced of Errol Spence fighting Keith Thurman one time at 154 pounds without any title, where Crawford said, quote, "Yep, I know, but hey," end of the quote. Previously, Crawford told Errol Spence, "I'm ready when you want to spin the block. Just giving you the heads up, that's all." And we haven't got a response from Errol Spence since then. Listen, I must say, it's really shocking to see Errol Spence go from claiming, "I will never fight Keith Thurman," to now choosing to fight the inactive Keith Thurman, strapless, for no strap. Over strap season against Terence Bud Crawford for undisputed. It's funny how the world turns. Errol Spence always says, "Tune-ups are for fighters that are not sure of themselves. I don't need a tune-up." Well, apparently Errol Spence needed a tune-up for Crawford. I don't blame him. If Errol felt that he not ready for pound number one, where he needs a tune-up, then go for it, as long he spins the block. But I do know one thing. Crawford is ready to fight now. Bud is available and ready for the strap season smoke, as he has been ready to fight Errol Spence for the past 5 years. However, on the other hand, we can't say the same for Errol, as he has been delaying this fight for the past 5 years, putting obstacles on the way such as across the street, so on and so forth, even though we saw when two fighters want to fight, they're going to make it happen, such as Wilder versus Fury and Gervonta versus Ryan Garcia. There is no such thing as across the street when it comes to mega fights if the fighters really want to fight each other. But all along, we knew Errol Spence wanted to save Crawford for last, because out of Errol Spence's own mouth, he said, "Me and Bud, we're going to go in there and try to kill each other." So, of course, that fight should be for all marbles, meaning for undisputed. However, all of a sudden, when now Errol versus Crawford is for undisputed, Errol Spence want to fight Keith, one-time Thurman, the man who he said he will never fight, over the strap season undisputed fight with Crawford. Now, I know a lot of people may think, well, he had to fight Keith Thurman because that's his WBC mandatory at 147. Well, it doesn't seem like Errol Spence really had to fight him if Errol Spence is fighting him at 154. Now, for the people that want to say it's not fair because Crawford fought David Evanasian in a stay busy fight, why can't Errol Spence do the same? First of all, it's because Errol Spence said he don't do tune-ups. Second of all, Errol Spence fought one time in 2022. So did Crawford. Errol Spence fought Ugas and Crawford fought David Evanasian. Now, for the people that don't know, Crawford only fought David Evanasian because Errol Spence informed Crawford the fight was not going to happen in 2022. This is what Errol Spence said on a leaked audio, that during negotiations, Crawford was pushing for the fight between him and Errol Spence for undisputed to happen in 2022 in October. Then the fight got delayed to November. Then it got delayed to December. Then it got delayed to 2023, around February, March, or April, where Crawford was not promised or guaranteed the fight, even after he accepted all of Errol Spence's terms. Why, if you may ask, is because Errol Spence said no to Crawford terms, the full transparency terms. Therefore, if you may wonder why Errol Spence versus Crawford negotiations fell apart, it's because Errol Spence turned down Crawford terms. He said no to Crawford terms, even after Crawford accepted all of Errol Spence's terms. That's why I always say it takes two to rumble. It doesn't matter if Crawford wants to fight. Errol Spence also has to want the fight too, for the fight to happen. Crawford did his part by agreeing to all of Errol Spence's terms. However, Errol Spence did not do his part because he did not agree to all of Crawford's terms, such as full transparency, and that's why the fight fell apart. I already went in depth on all of this, which I'm gonna leave the link for that video in the comment section below. Nevertheless, when people try to justify Errol Spence versus Crawford fight not happening because Crawford fought David Evanasian last year, that's so idiotic because Errol Spence, out of his own mouth, he admitted that the fight was not going to happen in 2022, aka last year. So we know for a fact Crawford fighting David Evanasian last year to stay active did not affect anything. It did not affect the status of Errol Spence versus Crawford fight not happening. In fact, right after the David Evanasian fight, Crawford told Errol Spence, "I'm ready to go whenever Errol Spence is ready. In April, May, whenever. I'm ready." Ever since then, Errol Spence went ghost mode. He disappeared on Crawford, just like Keith Thurman disappeared on Errol Spence back in 2016 or 17, whenever Errol Spence was mad at Keith Thurman for avoiding him. Well, the irony of it all, Errol Spence is doing the same thing to Crawford, and probably worse. So it's only right for Errol Spence to stop being mad at Keith Thurman and fight Keith Thurman. And that's exactly what Errol Spence is doing. Why be mad at a person when you're doing the same thing? In addition to that, Ryan recently said when he was negotiating the Gervonta fight, they told him he cannot take a stay busy fight in October. If he does, then they're going to walk away. But ironically, Gervonta ended up fighting Hector Garcia in January, just to show it's a leverage move. It appeared to be they almost wanted Crawford to stay inactive for almost 2 years, negotiating the Errol Spence fight. So when it comes down to crunch time, Crawford is going to be so desperate, he may fight Errol Spence for free. And I'm not even talking about the no guarantee part. I'm talking about no transparency either. If you can get Crawford to be so desperate, he's going to agree to drop his own demands, his own terms. Apparently, agreeing to Errol Spence's terms and demands was not enough. They wanted Crawford to drop his own terms, which raises the million-dollar question, how bad did Errol Spence want the fight? Did he even want it at all? For him to want Crawford to drop his own terms? It sounds like to me, Errol Spence wanted the Crawford fight as bad as a fat kid want to hop on the treadmill to run 10 miles. And majority of the times when I say Errol Spence, I'm referring to his team or whoever is negotiating for him. However, at the end of the day, or at least the night, Errol Spence has the last call. We all know Gervonta told PBC he was firm that he wanted the Ryan fight, that they even was willing to work with DAZN to make the fight happen. Gervonta told PBC, "I'm going to take my talent elsewhere if you guys do not make the fight happen." But we all know Errol Spence did not do what Gervonta did. So it raises the question, how bad does Errol Spence wants to fight? One thing for sure and two things for certain. Regardless of the cross the street obstacle Errol Spence always talks about, Gervonta still made the Ryan Garcia fight come to fruition. However, on the other hand, Errol Spence did not make the Crawford fight happen even after Crawford agreed to all of Errol Spence's terms. What else do you want from the man? He crossed the street, then he agreed to all of your terms. But you can't agree to his terms? Like I always say, it takes two to rumble. Last but not least, Crawford versus Errol Spence mega fight was a no guarantee purse. That's why Crawford requested full transparency. That was his main term that got turned down. So I'm curious to find out if Keith Thurman is going to end up having a guarantee or not. Because Ugas, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, you name it. All of Errol Spence's opponents had a guarantee. Till Crawford came along. All of a sudden, now it's zero guarantee. For the biggest fight in boxing, it almost sounds like Errol Spence gave Crawford the worst deal in history. And shockingly, Crawford still agreed to all of Errol Spence's terms. But in return, Crawford had one term, which was full transparency, that eventually was turned down by Errol Spence. So ultimately, Errol Spence turned down his own offer. How you not going to agree to your own offer? How you not going to agree to Crawford's terms when Crawford already agreed to all of your terms? More importantly, though, we need to know if Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman have a guaranteed purse. If Gervonta versus Ryan have a guaranteed purse. If Gervonta versus Hector Garcia had a guaranteed purse. And the answer is yes. Hector Garcia had a guaranteed purse, but Terence "Bud" Crawford had a zero guarantee purse offer. Make it make sense. With the facts being laid out and the whole absolute truth being told. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This is what I read it all too. Terence Crawford, wait till he get a belt.
Yeah.
He ain't did nothing in the welterweight today.
You
When
have
he get
did
a belt,
nothing.
you want to go over there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so
Okay.
why?
Okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why would I go to the easy road and knock Sean Porter out? Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I?
Look at this dude.
Why wouldn't I?
You a smart man, but not that smart.
Bro, I'm gonna crush you. I promise you.
Show up, E.
Let's run it, man.
Show up, E.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Say what you want to say. I have no interest in the Crawford fight. It does not interest me. They might find a way to interest me. They can entice me. But I've never felt that interested. I was interested in the Danny Garcia fight when he moved up, and Danny Garcia had a lot of credentials before he moved up. He dominated a weight class that didn't have 140-pounders in it, and now he moved up, and he's doing good. I'm the one who said you should at least beat an Amir Khan, and then they made an Amir Khan. You want me to pick your next fight, Crawford? You want me to be your matchmaker?
Pick it. He's saying Brooke, or they're saying Brooke, but they're...
Hey, I told you I was gonna pull up on Spence.
Hey,
You was really Hey, look.
I love it.
Hey, look.
I love it.
I told him I wasn't that worried.
Free smoke.
I told him I wasn't that
Hey,
worried. This ain't no Keith Thurman shit. That's gonna be scared and shit.
It's free smoke, Junior. They don't know what time it is.
T-Bud Crawford.
Yeah. Everybody know who the champ is at 140. Say who the king is. And he too small. He's too small. He little. He light in the ass.
Hey, look. Ain't nobody say Floyd was lighting in the ass.
He's light in the ass. He's not Floyd. What you talking about? I knew he was gonna be here.
And you knew I was gonna
I knew
pull
he was
up.
gonna be. That's why I came.
Did you know I was gonna pull up?
Oh God, I knew he was gonna be here.
Did you
Where
know I
is
was
he
gonna
at?
pull up?
Hey, where you at?
Did you know I
I
was
got a
gonna
text
pull up?
message nigga, from 3 o'clock.
And you got and you got a FaceTime for me and you didn't answer.
I don't know your number. What you talking about? You got my number.
But now you know. Save it.